then have that really strong synergy there that already works well with the Zyra. Instead, they ended up with Nautilus and Darrell, which is a little bit, I mean, it's okay, but it's a little bit weak, I feel.
A whole boatload of damage. We'll see how it goes as we hop into the Rift for game number 1. Game 1 as T1 have grouped in the top lane. All 5 members here to come. And Closer's like, well, I'm going to have to take Valkyrie first. And that he will. Duro able to... we do see...
PTA Cannon.
Yeah.
When it's a low-stakes game, and Zeus knows that Owner needs to come over here and cross and make sure that Cannon can continue to use the range advantage he has with that PTA as well. Raptors pushed away from his jungle. It's a poor performance of it all overall as Keria is going in.
Going in, and Hannah is, well, actually, it was Raptor. He is going to be 100-0. First blood does go over to T1 just like that, but BNK are fighting back. Owner going to be taken out himself, and that is a trade of junglers. Generally, yeah, you're just kind of taking it for safety. As we've really slowed down. Feeling the deep lull state coming on. As I say that, though, Closer is in the bot lane getting some plays, and T1 do want to respond to this. Keria, he is going to go in with the Magnustorm and flash away. Here comes an arrow. That's also flashed from. So both supports very careful about how far they go.
That's as much action as they'll allow. As Lear.
It might be in a little bit of trouble. That one auto into the stun. Very good from Owner. Clear extremely low. Has to flash the Heartbreaker. And now you've got this Kennen who's going AD and is attacking this turret. A mile a minute. Going to take down 2 plates already.
And T1 kind of cautiously give this one up. Get a TP out of Closer. And none of these turrets are really killable here right now with this Herald. Unless they get a kill here and clean this one up, they are going to commit to this even though it's at 90% health.
Yeah.
And
so
they just walk away.
Hey, they got it to half health. And this is good too. I think Owner, you know, there's not much happening. He's able to join on bot, and there's nothing that Claire can do.
There's
just
macro. Yeah. Just getting out macroed super hard. It's a 2-kill game. But it's a 3,000. Dragon's up in 15. Zeus is getting half of this turret. Can still just go bottom.
Okay, well, Clear is just going to try to get in onto Zeus. There's the Slicing Maelstrom for the stun, and it's enough autos to get the kill. Zeus wins
here from Raptor. They're going to TP for this.
I mean, they might be able to get in. The damage, though, is so fast on this one that it's definitely going the way of T1. Let's see what this fight looks like. As a lot of damage goes into Duro, but that's the first reset for the Viego. And look at Clear, he's so far ahead of the team. Down he will go. Keria might pay the price, but it's still the fight for T1. As now you got the TP coming in from the blue team. Faker looking for a bit more, looking for Closer, who does have to flash the sweep. And is even kind of losing the trade, but the big one does get stasis by Faker. Nicely done. Flash comes in as Red wins as well. And he's going to get that kill. T1 finally finding a big fight. And now Hannah kind of alone against the Viego, who is quite fed, and he will not win that fight in any universe. Is that just the game, Wolf?
I think that's just the game. I mean, 40 seconds on both AD carries here for B&K. They have Baron. They have a cannon wave. Instead, it looks like they're just going to dot the Rising. And that means big items.
It's a good combo. And, well, they're going to be looking for bot turret and inhibitor, but 5 members, 4 members and a half. You know, Clear's kind of in mid. He's like, oh, God, I got to go top, but I can't deal with the Kennen. I can't deal with this guy alone. Clear already learned that, and that was before the Kennen had 4 items.
Yeah, I feel like Zeus just right-clicked on the turret and then, like, stretched his hands.
Yeah, and now once again, look at Duro. He's just like, I gotta hook something. I'm gonna hook a minion. Obviously not on purpose, but just desperation on the side of BNK. Down will go Keria, but the carries here on the side of T1 are now very fed. Zeus getting 1v2'd. He will trade 1-for-1. And Guma is still alive, as well as Owner getting resets in the backline. Faker gonna go in, get stunned. Does go into the stasis, but I'm not sure that he gets out. Oh, he does the sweep into the flash. And that is a beautiful way to end the game. T1 clean. Super clean here in this first one, and will take it down up against BNK to take the lead in the series.
Say what you will about Faker's mechanics here in round 2 on a lot of other champions, but you put the man on the Azir, and he's still got the hands for that one. As this is not BNK's playstyle. You look at this draft and you go, well, they have an MF, but they don't have any setup for it. Not a big AoE setup like a Rel. And then you go, what other parts of this draft say BNK to me? Clear on Renekton, but he lost the lane to Kennen.
Yeah.
Very.
For the BNK side, but we end up with it anyway.
Yeah. I think it would have been fine for either side. Does feel very good into the Jhin lane, though, and very powerful with Ashe. Let's see how Closer does on the
Focus
Zeri
on
mid.
in this game number 2, and let's do it. We have game number 2 loaded up. Let's go on to the Rift.
It's available on this patch, even on tournament. So we'll see if he can get anything done here at level 1. Hannah will just put down a ward. Cleared. And zombied.
Yeah. Always feels good to get that zombie ward up, and they're going to continue invading Owner on the Lilia. Loves taking Raptors.
He does. Loves taking Raptors.
Raptors.
Yeah. It clears space as well with his harpoons. And kind of keeps Zeus at bay. He did go for Grasp. He also has Comet, so can kind of, and Scorch, so can kind of continue to put that pressure on with Harpoon.
Zeus on a split push pick like the Camille. Here comes Owner invading in onto Duro, but now he's just going to have to flash the wall. Keria just puts down a magical journey kind of into nowhere, but T1 do want to fight this. Just stay straight up 4v4 in the jungle, just fighting it up. There's the flash stun onto 2, and the follow-up comes in. Raptor solo, double knockup from Duro, but it just doesn't matter. The damage is taken away, and T1 will pick up 2 kills in one of the most random fights I've ever seen. Kill. Yeah. Meanwhile, in mid, there's that level 6. Faker not really concerned. He just wants to get the minions, but he might have to pay for it. The slow comes in. As now looking to turn around, will try to flash the wall, but Closer's got a flash of his own. Meanwhile, they're diving the bot lane. That's not going very well. And they're going to abandon that. As the sleep comes in, Duro actually gets stunned up. It will be a kill onto Duro.
Bit of a lurk here on said Grubs. Owner was topside.
Yeah, just trying to make a play happen, but Raptor a bit alone. He does have Closer coming up, and the equalizer is good as well. Owner will be taken down. And now Zeus just on the run. This Zeri just getting so much value in this game. Zeus just go back into the pit, but no hook shot and no escape for the top laner of T1. So that's 2 kills now going back over to BNK.
That was a really...
Raptor now waiting. Thankfully for Zeus, Keria's coming up here. And he does have his ult available. It's just going to hook shot into clear. BNK unsure about what to do now that Keria shows up. But Zeus is going on in, and he's in a bit of trouble as, the ults have stacked. And now we got a TP coming in. The double stun comes in from Keria. A lot of damage coming out of this Rumble, but there's just too many players coming up to the top side for T1 as Faker's TP does get a lot of value. Picks up that kill, but meanwhile, Closer's just getting plates in mid. It really just comes down to where do you want that money. And on the side of BNK, they're looking to really eliminate Zeus from the game. And Hannah's just joined clear, pushing the top lane. This should be an inner going down already 13 minutes into the game. So not only did they get all the plates in top, they got an extra turret before 14 minutes.
I mean, the Ashe arrow is going to miss, but the Camille's getting money. Rumble's still getting money, but we're getting one player back into the game, sort of, here for T1 versus just furthering that lead for clear. I think, speaking of...
Yeah, Anna came back. He doesn't have flash, and there's a Camille on the enemy team, so he's just going to go down. Doesn't get to play the game, as I said. Raptor also getting ganked in his own jungle by the rest of T1, so a couple of big picks here for the second.
Getting out macroed again, and now I'm going to have to flip back to... I don't favor this game state for BNK anymore, as Closer's going to try to get something done.
All right, the charm in and the knock up here for Keria. He has to flash away Guma as well, being pressured, and now you've got a Rumble right underneath, but the magical journey is so good, and in goes Closer. And he is going to pick up that kill. Now the response, the stun comes in, the cleanse there, and the damage is just huge from the Lilia and from the Corki. They're chasing him down, and the chase potential of this squad is just so huge with these champions. So T1 able to strike back.
It just takes so long for the turnaround there for BNK to get those kills. They get the kill onto Guma, but Lilia shows up, and the front to back basically begins there.
Foundation, okay, we're the team that always fights, always attacks. And they did that, but they got punished. As now, Sleep might be coming in, and no steal this time, but they are going to catch Faker, who does have a magical journey, and he's gonna flash into it and get away. And now the three-man sleep comes in with the bowling ball. Everybody is caught up in this one, and BNK are caught again as the double kill goes over to Owner.
It's another bait! It's another one, Valdez! Ripple, and then he flashes through and they still index into it. And between the two of them, they just knocked B&K out of this game and potentially out of this series. Nice equalizer attempt to maybe steal that one away. 2-0, because whoever wins game one gets some momentum, but game two looked like that wasn't going to be the case until it was. Raptor finds an angle.
Nice cleanse comes in, and there's the arrow to the face, but the charm's still gonna land. These two guys kind of caught out, but once again, Temper Fate comes through, but Guma, no escape for him. Owner a lot more tanky, and Duro just gonna go down to mostly Faker and a bit of damage from the Lilia as, man, Owner is just so incredibly fed at this point. Everything is burning, and Closer maybe gets hit. Nope, it's just gonna be the Camille that does get on in. Raptor has to flash clear. There's just nowhere to go. And you gave him Rumble. You felt good about this one for the side of BNK. You get Rumble for clear, but it's just not enough. Insane amounts that this Lily is able to do. You have so much control when you've got Lily and Bardis. Now we're going to get the root down onto Faker. Another Temper Fate is going to come forward, but there's only so much they can do. A ton of damage goes into Duro as a bit of ticking down does happen from the Lilia. I think the wallets are just that big at this point in time.
And with a late cleanse there, just wanted to see if he could save it.
Temper Fates got a lot of ways, you know, even the Camille obviously, to also pressure the side lane. And this is just one way to do it as well, I suppose. The Mikhails comes out, gets some value. They're gonna catch only Duro as the equalizer gets some good value. Now BNK looking to try to take this fight. Owner has to flash away, and take a look at Zeus just trying to peel for the team as he's gonna have to throw down the ultimatum and flash away.
Okay, well, that was kind of the kind of fight I was talking about for B&K.
He's pretty much just the one ward on the blue buff, and that's about it. And Carrie and Guma are just trying to push them away alongside of Faker, it turns out. Duro just, with the Mikhails first, he's just so squishy. I talked about it earlier on, he just doesn't do much, and now Raptor trying to get close to the pit. Here's the turn as well, and T1, they do find it. Zeus not gonna pull the trigger on the ultimatum.
No jungler, no equalizer, and T1 can just go straight back to the Baron with no fear here. And no fear X in the pit. I just don't see any way they can contest. Carrier just gonna keep eyes on the BNK players. There's not even a dragon to take here.
What is he doing?
Area?
He's just following them.
Yeah, he's just keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
Babysitting.
I mean, eventually...
No packs allowed. You can't even buy items.
You know, they have the one Cloud Drake. He's Bard, and he's got Warmogs. And now it's going to find Clear. Mikhails comes down, but Clear is just dead. And eventually, here comes the Sealed Fate as well, or the Tempered Fate. Going to catch Raptor, and everybody's just being hit in the face by some gigantic wallets on the side of T1. It is a clean ace. And that will do it for game number 2 in the series. T1 going to go into playoffs with a 2-0 win.
No one really knew what the form was going to look like for T1 in an important match to deny B&K playoffs leading into this week. B&K already had it guaranteed, already had it on lock. I feel like nothing to play for here except the fans for T1. And they don't even watch the end. I guess they just didn't have anything else to say.
In that moment, I mean, it was
as usual.
It was just a very done deal at that point, and yeah, so.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason for the post-match interview translation, and we are going to be joined by both teams as they had their final match of the regular split. First off, we are here joined by the victorious T1 players after their clean 2-0 victory up against BNK here. Please welcome Zeus owner Faker, Gumayushi, and Keria. First up, Zeus, how do you feel about wrapping up the summer season? This season as well, I was able to get a lot of takeaways, and also I knew what I can improve, so I think I learned so much. So you brought out the AB utility cannon. Sometimes on the Korean side we call it AS cannon, and it worked incredibly well. Tell us about the pick and the build. So we tried this in scrims, and then I feel like Kennen always performs better in scrims, so I was pretty like iffy going for the stage game as well, but I think it definitely worked really well. I feel like with that kind of versatile build potential, I think opponents will feel even more trickier to like kind of deal with Kennen, you know, whether it's going to be AD or whether it's going to be AP, so I think that can also add some more to the mind game. And I also want to know your thoughts on Kennen in general. I mean, it differs so much starting from the AP build to the AD build. And we saw a lot of AP build this season. It's pretty simple, and then AD Kennen is a little more complicated because it's more about the map play and macro. And then you show the great performance with Camille in Game 2 as well. What are your resolutions heading into the playoffs? As far as I know, if we lose one match, we're out. So I don't think it's a double elimination for us. So I just want to make sure that we don't get too nervous about it, you know. I hope we can just showcase our usual performance and everything will be alright. Now, Owner in the jungle, you ended the regular season with a victory. Since T1 lost to BNK in the first round, today's match must have felt even more important. How did you prepare for it? Indeed, especially I believe Raptor is one of the most proactive players on the side of BNK, so my focus was kind of stopping him or shutting him down early on before he scales. Now that was the final match of the regular season. Looking back at the entire summer, what stands out the most? I feel like time went by so fast, so I can't really pick a specific moment, but we were able to have a lot of great time together as a team. Also, I learned a lot of lessons as well. Now that you're heading into playoffs right next week, what are you expecting from T1 on the big stage? So T1 is a team that becomes even stronger at playoffs. So I'm pretty excited to find out what we have in store. Also, I'm excited to play up against other teams at the playoffs as well. I want to promise that we will prepare as much as we can in order to pull off the best performance we've got. Next up, Faker. How do you feel after securing a clean 2-0 victory in your final match of the regular season? You lost to BNK in the first round robin, so I really wanted to get this win this time around, and I'm happy with the clean performance and game score today. I think T1 overall this summer had a lot of highs and also lows, so how do you feel looking back? I was expecting a little bit of a difficulties this summer, and then I think we finally came back to our kind of form, and now playoff is just ahead of us. I want to focus on preparing for the playoffs as well. Then lastly, any words to your teammates who have worked so hard alongside you? Let's keep working hard together at the playoffs as well. Now, Kumayushi. It was the last match of the regular season. What did you consider most important as you prepare for this match? Well, there were also some possibility of facing up against BNK at the playoffs as well, so we just wanted to make a strong impression today. And also, they're really good at targeting with specific kind of like moments, so they're really good at turning the game around. So we wanted to be aware of that. And you have earned POGs in the last 4 consecutive matches. What impressed you the most this summer? So I think we had a little bit of a shift in the AD carry meta, so I focused on it a lot and I kind of prepared following the meta. Then lastly, what are your resolutions for the playoffs? There are a lot of ups and downs this summer, but finally in the end we made it to the playoffs. I hope T1 can make a miracle here. I know that we are that kind of a team, so I hope this happens again in the summer and make a great memory together. Last but not least, Keria. You were the start of the last game. You picked Bard and recorded a 0022 KDA as a support, the ideal numbers for the support player. So how do you feel about your own performance in the last game? My Bard performance was decent. I was expecting a POG, but it makes me feel even better finding out that I got a unanimous vote. Keria, this season you used 19 different champions, demonstrating your wide champion pool. How can you do this? To be honest, I myself also consider this summer season meta as a where you cannot really pull out a lot of different champions. So I'm also pretty surprised that I managed to play different champions like this. Now, Keria, you delivered a great performance today. Which bottom lane duo in the playoffs do you see as your biggest challenge? I consider every LCK bottom duo very strong. I'm not sure, but I believe our first match would be KT Roaster, so which means we're going up against Deft and Burrow, who I respect so much since, you know, always. So I want to make sure that we can also display the best form. And before we go, as the captain of T1, Faker, is there anything last you want to say to the fans who are expecting a lot of performance from T1 at the playoffs? I believe T1 can show a lot of different kind of strategies and great performance at the playoffs, so I am looking forward to your continuous support. Thank you. Once again, congratulations to T1 players on today's victory. And now, let's move on to the BNK Fearx team interview. Unfortunately, they were not able to get a win today. Still, they gave their best until the very last match of the regular season. Please welcome Clear, Raptor, Closer, Hena, and Duro, who will be joining us for the season-ending interview. We also have a lot of Fearx fans to support the players here, so let's hear from the team what they have to say. One more time, please give a warm round of applause for the BNK Fearx players for joining the interview. A very loud cheers coming from the BNK fans. Clear. With the result of the yesterday's match between DRX and Kwangdong, BNK Fearx playoff spot was confirmed. How did you and your teammates feel watching that match? I have never been such a big fan of a certain team, but yesterday I was truly a fan of DRX. You know, we were yelling and shouting whenever DRX was winning a kill or like winning a team fight, and when they were like falling behind, I was so desperate to see them bounce back. Clear, your growth in the second round has been remarkable. How did you feel it for you personally? I think I worked really hard, but round one, I could not really showcase that on stage, so I was a little bit sad during the first round robin, but round two, I could also tell that I was slowly getting better. And Clear, this is going to be your first playoffs. What kind of performance do you want to show? Although we lost the match today, I think it's also a good kind of a remedy for us because we get to kind of learn about our weaknesses. So I hope we can improve on those aspects and come back stronger in the playoffs. Now let's hear from Raptor. You joined BNK Fearx this summer. How has your experience been with the team this season? Round was apparently definitely was very rough, but today until today, I think we were able to kind of overcome all the hardships together as a team. So I'm so glad that we managed to kind of group up with a lot of teamwork together. Raptor, you also showed a lot of improvement. What mindset will you have as you prepare for the playoffs? We all already working so hard for the playoffs, so I hope we can maintain this form or maybe even stronger form for the playoffs to do better. Now moving on to closer in the mid lane. You have been the center of BNK FearX's rise this summer. How do you feel looking back at the regular season? Obviously, it was not easy, but somehow, some way we made it to the playoffs. But I think we are still not at our best form, so I hope we can hold on to our opportunity and perform better in the upcoming match. Closer, it's been a while since you actually last reached a playoff. So what are the resolutions this time around? I don't have a specific goal right now. I just wish we can have the best performance at the playoffs and kind of prove that we have the potential. Instead of focusing on a specific goal, I would rather focus on my own performance and try to play better. Next up is Hannah. How was the summer season for you? We made it to the playoffs, you know. I'm happy with that, but still, I think there are so many games and moments where we could have performed better. So I think we did for sure left a lot to be desired. And Hannah, now you are just 1 kill away from reaching 1,000 kill in the LCK. It must be a little bummer not to have reached it today. I mean, getting kills is important, of course, but I'm just thinking of the loss today, you know, because my teammates are so good at catching kills. But hopefully next time I can hit the milestone. Then what would you like to say to your teammates, encouraging them to do, you know, their best at the playoffs? You know, looking at our roster, you can tell that we have a lot of young players and rookies on the squad, but they're still doing a fantastic job. They're so nice. Also, I had so much great time together as a team. So I know you guys are great players. I believe in you guys, so you guys can stay confident heading into the playoffs as well. I believe in you. You guys got this. And last but not least, Duro, the support of BNK FearX. This summer was your debut season. How do you feel looking back at the regular season? So I think I joined mid first round robin, and then we made it all the way to the playoffs. You know, some days I had a good performance, but some day I was underperforming. But still, you guys are always there to support us, and that made us, you know, to reach the playoffs in the end. So I want to say thank you to all the fans. And it is, of course, your first time in the LCK playoffs. What are your goals and expectations? Goals? Well, everyone would say reaching to the finals, but I think that's kind of too lame and boring. Everyone can say that, but my personal goal or the goal of BNK FearX as a team would be, I mean, it would be nice to reach finals, but for now, I think we are pretty sure that we cannot make finals with this current form. I am very, you know, disappointed in how we performed today, which means we have to make an upset like we did last time throughout the regular season, but we only got lucky there. Today, we also learned about, you know, our weaknesses again. I hope we can get rid of those as we prepare for the playoffs, and I hope we can reach to the bigger stage with a better form. Everyone, please give a big round of applause to Duro and the BNK FearX players. And before we go, Hannah, as the captain of BNK FearX, anything you want to say to the fans? Too bad that we were not able to pick up a win today, but we will work even harder for the playoffs. I promise we will come back stronger in the playoffs. Thank you so much, everyone. One more time, please give it up for the BNK Fearx players. And this will be the end of the post-match interview with the players and back to the space. Thank you.